meeting is being recorded.
Welcome, everybody, to the Whispers Racing Podcast, Ballarat Cup Day. As always, I'm joined by Matty. How are you, Matty?
Going well, Worm. How are you, mate?
Good. I just almost threw the intro absolutely out the door and had no idea what I was doing for 3 seconds. Then I had Cranbourne Cup Day on my list. I never updated.
Oh, mate, that's all right. That's all right, because it feels like we're heading into the middle of winter here. Got sideways rain and country races.
Yeah. It's a good time to buckle up and just let the races go by. But because we're both sickos, we've just got to keep powering through and we just keep on punting.
Well, like we do say at certain times of the year, one eye is on the next carnival. And the next carnival for us is obviously in autumn. So one eye will be having a look at some of the horses that might be having a few runs now, put away across the summer and coming out for the autumn. But as always, we will find a couple of winners this weekend.
Yeah, 100%. Ballarat Cup Day, you got the Gong in Sydney, and more importantly, you have the Perth Carnival kicking off with the Railway and the WA Guineas. So I think our attention will start to turn to, or your attention turns to Perth, and my attention still sticks to Melbourne.
No, absolutely. And we might be heading across to WA this week as well, Worm. So we'll keep an eye out for that. But it's always nice you get to the end of the day and you got a few bonus bets up your sleeve and you turn to watch some group racing over in WA.
Yeah. Before COVID hit, we'd all go looking for Willie Pike. And my eyes, and anyone knows, last Saturday, I'm banning that guy's name on this podcast, in my group chats. He's dead set gone until he rides me a winner at 100-1, and I'll let him back in. I can't have him.
I think the entire racing community is hoping that Willie will ride one into last and get everyone out of trouble.
I hope for everyone. So then if it gets beaten a nose, then I'm just going to launch again at everyone about him. But no,
he certainly didn't help me out in the last weekend.
No, he's a good jockey, and I reckon he'll find his form later on, and he will be back to his best and riding winners like just for fun. So we do turn our attention to Ascot, which leads me into the question: with the Ascot Carnival, why aren't more I'm going to base it on Victorian horses. Why aren't there more Victorian horses aiming up at this carnival with the prize money going up and being really competitive? I think it's stealing money if you set your horse there.
You're not expecting too many to head across next week for the Winterbottom?
Oh, I think it's 3 or 4, but they've almost afterthoughts. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you just have one run in Melbourne and then just go whack and just take their prize money?
Yeah, look, obviously the carnival in Melbourne's changed shape a little bit with the championship on the last day. So maybe that's had some impact to trainers and owners in terms of their preparation throughout the Melbourne carnival. And hence that flows through to Ascot.
Yeah, look, don't get me wrong. Everyone loves a winner in the spring carnival in Melbourne, and I'd probably be one of them. But if I was a 100% owner of a horse and money was no issue to me, I'd be just telling the owner, hey, have 1 or 2 starts in Melbourne, and then we'll just target WA, go over a couple of weeks before and just steal their money.
No, there's some very nice races. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few, as you mentioned, head across, but probably not as many as what we've seen in the past.
I just love how Cascadian's going over. He's going to take my money again, which I'm going to love. And I'm not even going to study the race. I'm telling you now, I'm Cascadian. But
what's it heading across for?
The Northerly, which was the Kingston Town, 1800, I believe. Okay. So well suited, class above.
You would think so. One to keep in mind, punters.
Yeah, definitely. Another talking point we're going to bring up here, PG Moody Obviously, he did the rounds early Sunday morning with his wonderful comments of Blake McDougall's ride in the 2,000-meter race. What do you think of the comments, Matty?
Oh, Pete Moody back to his best. I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, I don't. It's interesting hearing a lot of people's opinions and watching the ride. Yeah, it wasn't a good ride, and I think the spray is warranted. But what I did find out was he never sprayed him at the track or never sprayed him on the phone after the race. It was just that audio to owners. So I thought that was the poorest part. If he sprayed him in the mounting yard or sprayed him on the phone that night, I don't have an issue with it. But I feel for Blake McDougall. He's probably woken up and he's probably seen it and just gone, "What the hell?" I've had a stinker, but it's yeah. Peter Moody's nose roll wasn't in effect. That's for sure that night.
Do you think Pete might have had a couple of Chardonnays and a couple of darts and let loose after a few?
Yeah, he's had 6 darts, 4 long necks of 4X golds, and he's just launched, I reckon. But look, as I said, I don't have a problem with the comments, but yeah, not saying anything to him and then launching at the owners. That's the little issue for me. But woke up Sunday morning to look at the horse and it's out of his yard. He's taken it, he's kicked it out, which, yeah, interesting that he's blamed the owners for the spreading. But yeah, I just found it weird that he's kicked it out.
Well, surely Pete knows that the audio clips that go out to the owners don't stay with the owners. They get circulated. As soon as you hit send on that, consider it to be on social media.
Yeah, correct. It's yeah, it was funny. It was a good laugh Sunday morning. Move over to the third topic, and it's probably going to be the most talking point for the next 3 months, I reckon, is DK Weir. We obviously know he was on a 4-year ban. It's coming up early next year. Question I have for you, Matty, do you want to see him back training?
Interesting question. So from what I hear, most of the charges have been dropped, and is it just the one pending?
I think there's 1 or 2. The one is the jiggers. That's the one that's coming up.
Okay.
The use of the jiggers. So that's the I think that's the main one we're all looking at now.
Yeah. Look, I mean, in terms of for racing, yes, I'd love to see DK Weir back, but in terms of horse welfare, it's probably the question that Racing Victoria would want to get some certainty behind before he got his licence back.
Yeah, I've got no issues. Second time round, obviously what he did was completely wrong, and we're both dead against it. We all make mistakes. You deserve second chance. Yeah, as I said, it will come down to his license. Do I think he gets his license back? Oh, it's a good question because it could go either way. I think the Vic stewards or Racing Victoria, they'll sit and listen to this charge and what's going to come out of it, and that will come of their decision, I reckon.
Oh, look, I would imagine we know what camp they're sitting in currently. Yeah, just depending on whether that charge is upheld or not, to whether I would imagine a suspension is extended or is maintained.
I'm a punting man. I reckon he gets his license back pretty much straight away.
Oof.
Yeah, I just think, I've just got this weirdest feeling.
Okay.
It just, yeah, all charges dropped. It just, I don't know, something stinks. Something's going on in the background, maybe.
Okay.
And it all
As
depends.
I said, good for Victorian racing as a whole. Imagine Kieran Maher up against DK Weir at his best. That would be some sensational head-to-head racing. But as I mentioned earlier, horse welfare is primary, and I think he's going to need to demonstrate that that's at the forefront of his mind too.
Yep, 100%. And from all reports, he's really remorseful in what's happened. There was a really good interview on SEN Track this morning with Bruce Clark, who did an interview with DK Weir. And yeah, it was really good insights into DK Weir and what we didn't know about the guy. And yeah, he sounds like he is very, very, very sorry for what he's done, which is good.
Absolutely.
But we will move on to last week, Cranbourne Cup. We had more scratchings than winners out of the Cranbourne Cup, I thought. Yeah, we were both with Visionary in the end. It left its soul. It's Uncle Bryn made me look silly. It made me sick with 600 meters to go. It was all over at the 600. Yeah, not much we could do, but just watch and hurt.
It was impressive, Uncle Bryn. There's not too much more you can say. And Mark Zara obviously got over his celebrations to bring home a Cranbourne Cup. So, yeah, look, there's not too much else you can say. It was a very good ride, very good win, and too good for that field.
Yeah, 4 track records broken at Cranbourne. You can't look too much into it because normally they're Friday nights is their main meetings, and then they're bringing in metro grade horses for this. So good to see some track records broken. Yeah, as you said, Mark Zara kicked us off. You knew he was on song early when we found the winner in the first with Prometheus. Was it Prometheus? It's the name
Yes.
escapes me. The Blue Jackets. That's all we need to know. So
Remedies, wasn't it? Remedies.
Yeah, Remedies. That's it. That looks, as I said, serious horse, serious talent. Won very well, and then we went to Sydney. Matty found King Frankel, led all the way. That was impressive as well. And then, if you listen to the podcast Wednesday night, early Thursday, we found the winner at Pakenham in the maiden. So it was a pretty good day for the podcast, or weekend, we'll call it. We just had one race that stunk it up, and yeah, so it was a pretty good effort from us, I believe.
No, absolutely it was. But when you say stunk it up, Visionary ran third, so wasn't the worst.
Yeah, correct. I think that moves us to the pineapple. Geez, I'm still hurting from Dunkel. Oh, I don't know what to think. A few people say bad ride. I agree in that camp. I thought the track might have been a bit tight for it. But to let a horse behind you kick up inside you is just no. Yeah, quickest 400, 200 ohm. If Hong Kong don't get him, this horse is serious. Yeah, I can't talk highly, so I'm going to pass over the pineapple. I can't keep talking about it because it still doesn't win. So, Matty, with you, I'll be interested to see where we go because there's so much good racing around.
Yes. Where are they? They're at the Meadows Saturday night, aren't they?
No, Sandown Park.
Oh, might have to do.
You must have seen my notes. You'll see something shortly. Buying shares in cash out, Matty, you got anything?
No, mate, no. We'll keep an eye on King Frankel that got us across the line last week. But yeah, I don't think I'll be just popping in for now.
Yeah. I'm buying shares in. I'm going to half put it in. Is Miss Contiki for the Winterbottom. Thought its run on Saturday was massive. Should have just got to sit closer. If it draws a barrier in the Winterbottom, I'm going to back it each way. But not knowing 100% what's coming over and how they've travelled from Victoria, I'm just going to keep my cards to my chest. But yeah, I think last week it's a nice horse in the making, Miss Contiki. Track stats, well, Moonee Valley 7 meters Friday night. We're going to be looking for horses on speed. Ballarat, there's a bit of rain. I don't think there's any more rain around until Saturday, late Saturday. So if the track's on the improve, it's currently heavy. They reckon they might get to a 5. If that's the case, rail will be hot, I reckon. The last couple of times at Ballarat, it's been super hot on pace. So I reckon it will happen again. And Yeah, that's it. That's something just crossed my mind then. Trial trackers this week. We'll move over to Ballarat Race 3, number 11, Sassy Boom. Now, be careful with this race. This is the other direction race. Qualifies you for the Magic Millions. Now, I don't think any of these can win the Magic Millions, but I think race 3, number 11, Sassy Boom, is a very nice horse here. It's had one jump out and it went really well over the 800 meters. Time was fine, but I thought it had plenty more to give. I'm worried about the barrier because they go the reverse way and they're always turning in that when they jump. So you got to try and get close to that rail. I'm hoping Johnny Allen jumps well and just hunts for the lead at 360. I think it's a nice price, as the others didn't really show me anything to be getting excited about. So race 3, number 11, Sassy Boom. Today we're going to preview, I'm going to preview Moonee Valley race 3 it is. Maddie's going to preview the Ballarat Cup. We're going to have bets around the grounds and other codes, obviously the multi, and I think Maddie's still trying to decide his pineapple of the week. I can see him deep in thought. And he even looks impressed. That's outstanding. I'm going to kick things off here. As I said, Moonee Valley, Friday night. It's race 3. It's a maiden over 1,200 meters. We've got the odds here. Get it up. We got the favourite here, White Russian, $3.30. You have Cortez, $4.40. Holly Lolly, $4.40. Private Jumbo, $6.50. And then you got $19 the rest. With the rail out 7 meters, I'm happy to be with number 1 here, Cortez. Having its debut here, it's had 2 jump outs for this. The first jump out was nice. It just looked like a go and have fun educational run. So that was a pass mark for me. And the second jump out, which was the most recent one, they gave the horse a little squeeze, and I really liked what was under that little bonnet of it. And the horse decided at the 100-meter mark to turn its head on its side for 2 strides, but then straightened up, hit the line beautifully. Time was good. With the rail out 7 meters, I'm cautious. You'll need to be on speed, but I feel from barrier, I think they've got an inside barrier here, barrier 3 or 4. They can either sit leader or sit right behind the leaders, but I feel this horse has a good turn of foot, and I feel it's a good winning chance at around the $4 mark at the moment now. It's come in as I'm looking. The dangers here, number 10, White Russian, has jumped out well, but I feel might have to do some work from the outside barrier. But it is the clear danger. I can't knock it. Its jump outs have been really good, but I'm just worried what they could do from 10. I think they hunt up, but I think they're going to use a lot of pace because there's a bit of pace on its outside, especially with number 8 here, Holly Lolly. Bit stiff, not to win last start, beaten by a freak of a win. Tracking nicely, can't knock, but barrier 8, it's really in no man's land. It could be either 3 wide, no cover, or it could sit outside leader. Blake McDougall on. I just hope he's switched on and Peter Moody's not in the mounting yard for that race. But pretty keen here. Number 1, Cortez. Matty, thoughts?
Mate, a 3-year-old maiden on a Friday night at the Valley. Let's stick with the Worm, and we'll be on Cortez from barrier number 3.
Yeah, it's not a yard I go looking for, but something's clicked in that yard recently. They're winning, and they're winning first up. They're putting their horses into races. Now, I know the trainer, Matt DeCock, his dad's a big South African trainer, and he's invested into this camp. So I wonder if he's just pulled his weights down, came down, and told them how it is. And they're starting to pull their finger out because, 5-6 years ago, Robbie Griffiths this time of year was deadly. So I think I might have to change my mind on this camp, and I think they might be back to where they should be, which is good.
Get us off to a winning start.
Yeah,
Friday night.
Yeah, Friday night. on the beers early before we hit to Ballarat. WhatsApp, guys, if you want to be part of our WhatsApp group, please DM one of us. We will put you straight through. It's all free. There's no paywalls. There's no nothing. It's all free. You get our thoughts. It's a community where you can have a say. It's a lot of fun. Because it's Wednesday, we're obviously going to have more thoughts closer to Saturday. So get our thoughts plus Saturday night dogs. It's been a hit of late, and we've been hitting them quite well. So if you want to get involved, please hit us up. We'll put you straight through.
And good job to Johnny for getting his multi in nice and early.
Yeah, and they all won. He hasn't put them up before. Strike one, post betting, slipping. Ballarat. Oh, go. What was that?
No, I was about to say, Johnny said he's on a bit of a lean patch. So good to see he's landed one.
If you're on a lean patch, just listen to our outro, and we'll that'll get you fired up. Ballarat Cup, Matty, you're going to preview, which is race 8.
Race number 8, yeah. Look, just before we go through the odds, I think from a speed point of view, Sorello Miss is going to get an easy lead here. My attention's going to be drawn to the inside 3 barriers with Banker's Choice, Flash R, and Desert Icon. I think all 3 of them will find a much better position than where they have found themselves previously. So that's where my attention's been drawn here. Outside of that, I expect to see a fairly even tempo. I don't think anyone else will really be challenging Sorello Miss for the lead. And then there's a number of horses that are quite comfortable to be towards the back end of the field or midfield. So, I do see this as being an even tempo, but my attention's been drawn to the inside worm if you've got the odds.
I do, mate. Favourite is, we're going to call them joint favourite because a couple of joints have got Banker's Choice and a Tissue either side of favourites around the 460. Long Villas, second starting Oz is $6. 2 Polly Grey is $13. 5 Grand Slam $12. Lord Vladilostok, I butchered it, $14. 9 Cirillo Miss 15, and then you can have 17 plus the rest.
Look, we're my top 4, and the first one, Tukarangi, I was quite impressed by its run against a Tissue at HQ. It was strong across, I'll say, the corner to the last 100 metres, and then probably it was a little bit flat from the last 100 through the line. So that's probably my only question with this horse. Has it got a whole lot more to offer? So, look, I think it can run a race. I don't necessarily think it can win. It'll be going back running on. So, look, I think it's a place chance, but not necessarily a winning chance. Flash R, 5th in the Cranbourne Cup, inside draw here, is going to sit a lot closer. It wasn't a very good ride in the Cranbourne Cup. Had a lot of work to do, and on the corner was no chance of winning. So, look, I think it could go exceptionally close here from barrier number 2. As I said, I think Flash R, Desert Icon, and Banker's Choice are all going to sit a lot closer. And I can almost see Flash R just sitting one behind Sorello Miss and getting pretty much being put to sleep across the 2,000. If it gets a little bit of luck on the corner, it could be the one coming off heels and really firing across that last 300 up in Ballarat. But I do see this as a 2-horse race for the winners, and it's between a Tissue and also Banker's Choice. Now, the Tissue was obviously extremely impressive with J-Mac on board at HQ. The market found it. It was extremely hot and did not disappoint. Now, I can't see anything from that race, and I think there's 3 or 4 other horses that was running against a few in the market, getting close. So, look, I think a Tissue is one that needs to be in serious consideration from barrier number 6. It's not going to be far away. You can see this sitting forward of midfield, and again, doing similar to what it did at HQ a couple of weeks ago, running its own race, and then on the bend, finding some clean air and really winding up. So I think we've got D. Oliver on board. So wouldn't necessarily say that Damien's a upgrade versus James McDonald, but I don't think you're losing too much within this field. Banker's Choice I do have on top though, Worm, and the McKinnon is the form that I do want to be following. Now, it's the best form race for mine going into this, and Banker's Choice ran into some traffic in that race. It got off heels, ran home okay, but if you have a look at the class of that race in comparison to the Ballarat Cup, it's lights apart. Banker's Choice from barrier number 1. I can see, again, Johnny Allen on board, knows Ballarat exceptionally well, will know where to put the horse, and will be making a big run down the straight. So, Worm, I see this being a 2-bet strategy. As you said, call them equal favourites at $4.50 apiece. I think you can have equal units on them and come out a winner. If you don't mind, I wouldn't mind actually having something on Flash R the place, currently at 31s. So around about $7 a place. Yeah, wouldn't mind a piece of that either.
Yeah, okay. I think it's a 2-horse race, and we are both on the same 2. So I'm only going to talk about those 2. 2 points I got. Barrier 1. Surely they use this. Do you agree?
It sits much closer than where it has been.
Especially if that rail is going to be hot and the rain hasn't arrived. It's going to be in the greatest spot to be winning. And even if the rain does arrive, it's going to enjoy the wet. So to win for this Banker's Choice, I have to be on again, because what he did to me last start, it still makes me sick at the big odds. What could have been, we don't know. Yeah, you can go broke back in unlucky horses, but you just got to go again and trust that it's coming out of the best race. The second point I've got, and I did the form, I did the maps, then I look at the prices. Why is a tissue $4.60 still?
Look, the way I saw it was the McKinnon. It was a much better race than the race of Tissue was in.
Yeah.
I think if you put Banker's Choice in a Tissue's race, you're probably going to find that Banker's Choice wasn't too far away from a Tissue.
Yeah. If it lost its penis, yes, it would be in the same race. But yes. I thought it'd be $2 something. When I saw the field, did everything, I thought this has got to be around the $2 mark. When I saw $4.60, I'm like, what am I missing? It's coming out of a last start win. The figure out of that race is big. I just think the price is crazy. I think, as he said, 2 bets, you're going to walk out the winner. And yeah, I think you take those 2 in your quaddie, you walk away, you're going to have a collect. But if you want to take our confidence, you just take Banker's Choice 1 out and we'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, like in an even run race, I think it's between those 2. As I said, I think if Flash R gets any luck, it's complete overs. But I do believe that there's a lot of horses that won't even go close in this.
Flash R can just follow Banker's Choice everywhere it goes.
They could, absolutely.
But yeah, well put together, mate, because we don't compare notes. We do form differently, and we've landed on the same 2 and landed on the same horse. So that is scary, scary stuff. We know what happens when that lands, guys. So look out. I might actually have a bet at Ballarat. I wasn't planning on to, but yeah, the way you've summed that up, you've given me a lot more confidence. Around the grounds, Matty, where are you going to lob?
Mate, my around the grounds will be put into the WhatsApp community over the weekend. I only have one more bet, and we'll leave that till the end.
Oh, yep. Well said. Well, I'm a sucker for punishment, so I'm going to go 2 places. I'm going to go to Adelaide, race 8, number 6, at Tashaka. It's 2 from 2 out of 2 starts, of course. I feel it wins again. Its debut at Cassidy. It's coming out of a good form race, 2 winners, 4 placing so far out of that. And then next start, I don't know how the jockey wasn't charged for going too slow. They were 14 lengths negative to the 600 meters. That is jumper's speed. But kicked on the corner, won nicely. Full credit to the jockey. Basically, it was a barrier trial last start, same track, same distance this time, but gets a jockey upgrade, which I'm really happy with. Field doesn't look much better than what it was last start, so I can just do exactly the same again, and the track will favour leaders. So jump, lead, win. That's Adelaide race 8, number 6, Tashaka. We're then going to go late at night, Saturday. No, it's not Ascot punters. We're going after Ascot. We're going to Sandown Park Greyhound Saturday night. Race 8, number 5, She's a Pearl. Some say box 5 is the squeeze box. Yes, I agree. But when you've got a dog that will ping the leads from box 4, and that's Plaintiff, that dog will go left and want the rail. We can just sit outside it, go straight. Be no interference whatsoever. This race will come down to the last 50 metres when they're just coming around that last bend. 2 dog race, but I feel we're just going to be way too strong. Last week the last week this dog had never seen the track, never had a trial at the track, so it was looking at it for the first time 7 days ago, and I thought it went super. Went quick at the start. I think it went a 5:06 at the first split. That is flying. I just think it ran out of gas and might have was just a sitting duck for one of the best dogs that goes around. Wow, she's fast. If you didn't see it, it was in the Top Gun. It was a really good 4-dog war. Our dog has plenty of upside. $2 is a good price to be getting involved in. I think it can start around the $1.80, $1.70. So that's race 8, number 5, She's a Pearl. I suggest you have something now on it for the Melbourne Cup in 7 days' time. It's currently $7. If it wins this heat, I reckon it starts around the $3 mark, maybe the $2 mark for the Melbourne Cup next Saturday night. So that's She's a Pearl. And I'll be having plenty of more dog bets Saturday night. So if you want to join the community and see some real sick betting, come and get involved. Multi-time. Matty, what are you chucking in?
Well, we're going 2 bets. Banker's Choice the place, which we're both quite confident on. And we're going across to Ascot and Snipperucci, the place, in a sprint race over there, race number 5 across 1,200 metres. I'll be having a place bet on it as part of the multi.
Okay. I'm going to go Moonee Valley Friday night, race 2, number 7, Van Bra Castle. That's in the race 2. It's another maiden. I think it's a very good horse. Jet Stanley goes on for Brent Stanley. I think it might be a bit of a confidence boost for the kid. And I think it can win from barrier 1. Then we move to Ballarat race 3, number 11, Sassy Boom, the place. I just think its barrier is the only negative, but I definitely think it runs a drum at around the $1.80, $1.60 mark. So that multi comes to $10 with a bit of a boost. So that is Vanbrugh Castle, Sassy Boom, Banker's Choice, and Snipperucci. Now,
were they all the place, Will?
They were all the place. I learnt my lesson.
$10.
I learnt my lesson last week, taking 2 horses the win, and we both ran a place.
That's all right.
I may have cost the multi. So that was quite funny Saturday night when I thought, I think we got it. But no. Some knobhead over here decided to put a few wins in and we got greedy. But that's another story. We'll go 4 from 4, hopefully. Do we need to pause the video so you can have more time for the pineapple?
Well, mate, I thought we're at the Meadows, but we're not. We better go across to Ascot. And I've already mentioned the horse as part of the multi. Snipperucci, when the fields came out, I did see this and liked it. I liked its last preparation. First up, it won over 1,000 metres. It's better over 1,200. So stepping up from the 1,000 to 1,200 will definitely suit, and I can see it winning again here at 2:30. So Snipperucci race 5 at Ascot will be the pineapple this week, Worm. We're going to need to wait a little bit longer than what we usually do. So apologies to the community for that, but it's time we get on a bit of a roll with the pineapple. We've had a couple of lean weeks, so I think Snipperucci can get us going.
Question for you: is Willie Pike on it?
No, Billy Pike is not on board.
Right, chips in. I'm in. Whatever I win Saturday, I'm going chips in with this one.
I like to hear that.
I was dead set. If Willie Pike was on it, I was going to delete this episode and it would never go to air. But no. Oh, good. That's the end of the show, guys. It's a quick one this week, just due to the country meetings. I'm not a big fan of country tracks on a Saturday. That's just my personal choice. You can do some real bad damage, and I've learnt from my past. But next week we have Sandown Cup Day or Sandown Guinea, Zipping Classic, whatever you want to name it. But it's at Caulfield. So we'll preview that. Matty will dive into the Winterbottom, surely. Sydney will probably have another pop-up race called the Microphone or something. So we'll preview that too. But yeah, anything else to add, Matty?
No, looking forward to next week. Back at Caulfield, and then we've got the Winterbottom over in Ascot. So I think this week might be a little bit of a off week just in terms of the quality going around, but it definitely steps up again next week.
Yeah, I'm definitely punting Friday night, and I'm going to pat Saturday night at Ascot. Chips in with yours, and then I'm just going to launch into Sandown Park Greyhounds with a few Renee Stubbies before
Very
the
nice.
end of the night. So, yeah, as I said, guys, if you want to join the community, all free, DM one of us. We will put you through. We'd love to have more people on board. It's a good, real tight community. It's, just full of sickos, which we love. So that's the end of the show. Hopefully you fill your pockets up. More importantly, I hope we filled your pockets up, and we'll out with our favourite guy to end the show. And we'll see you all next Wednesday or Thursday for Zipping Classic Day.
I'm not a good person, but it just goes to show that good things do happen to bad people. So anyone out there who's up against the wall, fucking stick to it. Every cent you got, your rent, your electricity bill, if you're going to buy your missus a ring, don't fucking do it. Keep punting. Keep fucking punting.